front side and back side of the marimba and all. Congratulations! I really enjoyed your performance, like I said, and I wrote you down some notes about some ideas. Did you have any questions about my comments or anything that you wanted to speak about? I guess Emily is joining it. My daughter is Emily here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go to mom right now, babe. Okay. Sorry, guys. Say one more time. Did you have any questions? Let's.
I actually am embarrassed to say this, but I don't think they've seen their rating sheet, so I'm really sorry.
Okay, dokie.
That's
Okay.
probably my
Well,
fault.
well, let's go right to it and let's play the opening. Okay. I'm going to stop you. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, Maya. Okay, I know that's pretty short, but look, our time is limited, so I just want to try to give you the best information I can at the time. Now, we talked about this earlier today as well, but your goal is to make the best sound possible. With the marimba, we want a rich, deep, full projection. And I know that some rooms are drier than others, of course, but if we can imagine what it would be like in a concert hall, big, rich, projecting sound from the marimba. Okay, so Maya, in this opening, I want you to play in the center of the accidentals on every note on the accidentals. Don't play on the edges of the bars here. Let's just try it. Okay, good. Now, did you hear a difference?
Yeah, it was a lot richer. It was fuller. And
Bingo. Okay, that's what you want to do every time. And I noticed in the recording you played it like on the edges too, like you did the first time. But when your partner comes in here, you guys were really pretty good about your playing spots. But in this opening, it was compromised a little bit. Okay, so this time, why don't we just start right where you guys play together, right where Case comes in. Okay, great. Let's stop right there. Really nice. Good job, Case. Now, when he enters, you have some tools that are available to you that you guys could use a little more effectively. One of them is your breath, just like being able to breathe and then put something into motion. The same way a French horn player does, the same way a violinist will breathe before they bow the string. Okay, so you guys can hear each other breathe, and so that helps me as the player, if I'm in the duo, to know where to drop the hands to be right in time. Because we're having some issues where your attacks are like, it's like seeing a picture that's not quite in focus. It's a little bit, it's close, but it's not exactly together. So we want to make that together. Now, what's the other possibility? One, of course, is the breath. The second one is the preparation that you do with your stroke. So visually, unlike the clarinet or the trumpet, where we can't really see them make the sound, percussion is very visible. Like, ready, tap, and you can almost tell each other. So somebody has to be the leader. Who is the leader when that first time that Case comes in? Which of you two is the director? Okay, Case is the director. So Maya, then you have to be geared in on how he's prepping that and where he's going to drop the sticks. And then Case, you have to breathe a little bit. Beep, but as the audience, I won't be able to hear you breathe so much, but Maya will be able to hear it. Let's try it. Where Case comes in again. Great, great. That was better. Did it feel a little better for you? Okay, you got to do that every time. Okay, if you're playing with the trumpet player, the clarinet player, another marimbas doesn't really change things. We have to be involved in breathing and of course being clear with our stroke. Now, Maya, when you come up and you start playing this, what is it, a high F sharp, dee dum, something? Yeah, good. That part's not so interesting. Case's part is interesting. So we want Case's part to be a little bit more than yours. Okay, can we start it right at that spot or close to it, wherever is comfortable for you? Good, good, good. So guys, you're doing great. And really the point today is not for you to play the whole piece for me. I've heard you play it. You know, what we're going to try to utilize is some of these examples and how we might make it better for the next time. Okay? So here's the deal. We're going to take them, not right now, but I know the music is sitting right there, but you, Case and Maya, need to sit down and study the score and decide which one of you, if sometimes there is no leader, sometimes it's really a composite textural work. You know, and Ivan's music is, I think it's the reason it's so popular is that it's so heartfelt and it's groovy. I mean, he's got some really cool grooves and great presentation. So in this case, you know, we have to kind of decide what role we're playing. You know, if we're going to be on a sports team and we're running a play with a basketball team, I have to know what my job is. What do I do in that part of the play for me? If when we're playing music, I have to know who am I supporting? Okay, how do I support them? You know, who do I listen for? In this case, it's just two of you. Okay, you're not playing in a concert band or orchestra. It's just you two. So you have to know Maya is the accompaniment to Case or vice versa, or we're 50-50 here. Let's go for it. Okay, but sometimes I can't quite tell what you think is the most important voice here, but it seems evident to me in the way he's written it. Okay, now he's probably written, for example, that spot with Maya to when she's playing that high F sharp ostinato thing, that it's maybe her dynamic is mezzo piano, in Case maybe yours is mezzo forte. Okay, we have to hear that clearly. Now I know it's on Zoom and I'm not hearing exactly like it probably is in the room, you know, but it's got to be like anybody could walk into the room and go, oh, Case is louder than mine. I mean, it's got to be like evident. You don't have to be a musicologist to understand that. You know, everybody hears those things. So we want to take the things that are most natural, the things that are most fundamental in music and make the most of those things. Those are the essential, most simplest elements that really take a lifetime to develop, really, you know, and that's what most of the music that you feel attractive is, and whether it be pop music or jazz or classical or concert band or whatever, those elements are the things that reach out to you and go, I like that piece. We all know that feeling. You know, we all know that feeling. So what you're striving to do here is to develop that sense of detail about the music. And we want the listener to they may not understand it, but they can feel it. They can hear it, you know, in the detail. Yeah. Okay, good job. Can we move to the next section where it gets a little bigger? I don't have the score in front of me, so you're going to have to jump. Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, bravo, bravo. Now, when you take the score out, I like pencil markings. I'm a kind of a big red pencil kind of guy. You know, I'm going to mark things that are clear. I want them in color so they'll jump out at my eye when I'm studying the score and working on it. Clearly, I don't write too much. It would be too much red would be a little mess. But now, what you want to mark in is about those balance issues we just talked about. Now, this part would be like, where are the impact moments of this music? You know, at what number, at what point in time is where the music hits a high point and then falls off? Maybe the next high point is higher, you know, or maybe it's lower, but these impact moments are important for you as a performer because you are going to hopefully translate that knowledge into musical direction for the audience to take us to that moment. Okay, so this is something you two could do a lot better, I think, because you're doing it, but it's a little subtle. And what that means is that I'm not always convinced that, oh, that's a high point. Okay, so now the only way to do this is sit down, you know, together, take the pencil and mark it up. You know, make sure that you both have the same marks on each of your scores. Do you read from the score on this or different parts?
Separate parts.
Separate parts. So you have to mark it equally because a high point in Maya's music may be different than yours cases. Okay, so you might want to look at the score first, you know, just to look at both pictures to get a sense of the big picture. Mark these impact moments. And look, of this music, I think there's one that is the biggest impact moment. It's probably about in the last page and a half or so. I can't recall exactly where it is, but it's probably marked with louder dynamics or some detail from the composer that's telling you, oh, this is it. We've come home. You know, we've made it to the big moment. Now, he may not call it impact moments, and there's many terms. You could use whatever, high points of the piece or the climax or whatever, you know, but you need to define these moments for both of you to make sure that you both are on the same page, so that you're both climbing the same mountain at the same rate. Does that make sense? Okay, because that musical direction is going to need to be clearer, I think, for even stronger performance. Okay. Regarding technical sides, Case, you're having to play from the accidental side, which is somewhat problematic at times. Yeah. And is the instrument all the way down? Is it as low as it normally goes?
No, we actually raised it a little bit.
It might not be such an asset for Case, because for Maya, you don't look too uncomfortable, to be honest. But for Case, he's kind of got his hands up, and it looks like maybe you should maybe go a little lower than normal. Now, the other option, Case, and I'll just say this because it's a reality, but we could raise you up by putting on, you know, dress shoes or something. What do you have, tennis shoes on? What are you wearing?
Vans.
Say what?
Vans.
Okay.
He's wearing bands, so that's like standing on the floor pretty much.
Okay, yeah. So you need something if you're going to play at this level, you need a shoe with some kind of heel, like a dress shoe or, you know. Now, I'm not talking something crazy. You know, I mean, just a normal dress shoe, because that's talking about it probably a half an inch or so. It makes a big deal. It makes a big difference than standing in a flat shoe, you know. So now you would only do that Case if Maya says she can't play it lower with the instrument down an inch or half an inch. You know, experiment. But it does seem like you're compromised a little bit by getting to the instrument at that height. Yeah. Cool. Can we start there one more time and keep going? And I'll let you play a little longer. Okay, great, great. Hey, you're doing good. You're doing good. Playing with power and conviction being together is going to help you hit those peaks that we just talked about. You know, I think a few of the things that, first off, I just want to say this because it's important. When you perform, you want to bring personality and character to your music. Okay, we don't want to play something that sounds the same all the time because that's going to be boring, right? So we want to have more contrast, more personality, more character. Okay, so your goal as to how to do that is written on the score. You want to deliver every detail that this composer has written on that page. So if he goes from piano to mezzo piano, we should hear it. It should feel different. You know, I'm sure you've done this. I've done this. I've heard people playing music and they make that change and I really can't tell any difference between those two dynamics. But the composer has written it because he thinks it's important or she thinks it's important, you know. So you want to bring out every detail in your music to help develop this character. Now, the other thing that you can do, and I wrote you in the notes when you see them, I think I did, is to record often. Record a section of the music. Listen together. Listen with the music in front of you. Take out that red pencil and mark it up. You know, mark decisions that you think are going to help you to, that you maybe you see some detail, but you don't hear it. Or you hear something that you don't see. Oh, we're doing a change here, but he doesn't say to do that. Maybe we misinterpreted this. You know, get to the point where you're dealing with all the details, and then it's up to your expression and your interpretation. What year at school are you guys?
We're sophomores.
Sophomores, right on. What a great opportunity to play a piece like this and have fun and, oh my goodness, learn something about the music and about yourself at the same time. You know, when we practice music with a dedication to detail, we learn a lot about ourselves. We learn about perseverance. We learn about understanding and studying. When we think we know it, no, we dig in even more and we learn more. You know, trying to understand it. And by watching these videos together, you'll get to hear and be critical of like what and constructive of what do you need to do. Because when you listen to a recording, it's not about is it good or bad. It really doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You know what most people do when they hear the recording, they go, "Oh, that's terrible," and whatever. But in reality, the only thing you need to ask is, "How can I make it better?" And that's what we're talking about. And you're going to make it better by giving more detail to what the composer has indicated. Okay? Yeah. I mean, it goes down to tempo, articulation, phrasing, everything, anything that's there. And even if it's not there, then you have to make decisions because you have to have a vision about what you want for your art, of course. Yeah? All righty. I know it's time. You guys have any questions before we go? Okay.
Yeah. Did you guys want to come up and ask questions here? I'll move out of the way.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. You come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for playing, guys. Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you. And
You
thank
got a great teacher. Bravo.
oh,
Thank you.
thank you, parents. Also, both their parents are all here. So thank you so much.
Thanks, parents.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding.
Was good.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go next to Jarrett Wren and Peter Popescu. And let me go ahead and pin them here on this. And Jarrett and Peter are our first place high school duet partners. And congratulations, guys. And I'm now going to turn this over to Dr. Ford.
Okay, great. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good deal. Jared, good to see you again. I know we go way back. I'm joking. I really enjoyed your recording, guys, and I'd love to dig into this a little bit more with you. I think the music of Eric Samud is so wonderful that he came into our percussion world. and had the energy to write such amazing music. I do remember, I don't know if I wrote you, have you seen my notes yet about what I wrote for you about your duet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any particular questions about that?
What were some of the sections because I think you talked about some like interpretations of groupings, and I can imagine you probably meant like the 12/8 maybe, but what are some other sections you were talking about?
Um, okay, I think what I'm referring to here, because it's a perpetual motion style piece, not completely, but in sections, and perpetual motion means same rhythm, same groupings, no rests, obviously, and it comes to us from the idea of perpetual moto comes from really the Romantic period, more mid 19th century. But the idea, like the music of Franz Liszt, for example, if you listen to his perpetual moto on the violin, oh man, it's just the expression is crazy, but the rhythm and the perpetual motion aspect stays the same. Because this is a duet, reason I wrote that is because if you both are moving in the same rhythmic figure, but yet using different stickings, then the articulation will be heard differently. Consider an orchestra, for example, and you've got the string section. All the bows always move in the same direction. Why? Because it's not just because it looks cool, it's because it translates into musical articulation. Okay, so in a section, you would want everybody to use the same bow to create the same musical effect regarding articulation, right? With percussionists, we want to use the same stickings. And it's not about visual application. And there are some areas where visual application is important, obviously. Some concert works, but mostly maybe marching drumline issues, where the sticks have to be the same. It's just important. But really, there's a sonic difference. And the sonic difference is that our stickings, if the music is either in tandem and unison, or maybe it's just offset by thirds or fourths, depending, is that if the stickings are similar, then the chances of the articulation of us perceiving in the music as a unit is heightened. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. That's part of the main thing I think that I was looking at regarding the grouping issue there. The biggest thing I want to tell you a little bit about Eric Samut too is I've known him for a long time now. I think I met him 20 some years ago or something, but we were judging a competition together, and I was excited to meet him because I played through his rotations and had taught them and some of his other pieces. And I asked him, I said, Eric, tell me, because everybody plays your music with so much rubato, but he rarely writes that word in the music, And, and he said, Mark, he goes, I know a lot of people do that. He goes, but I like my music more simple and straighter and just more fluid, which told me a lot. And then I started thinking about Eric, because obviously he grew up in France, plays in the Paris Symphony, been in Paris most of his life, and is such an artist, such a gifted performer, and such a wonderful composer, is that and I've been fortunate to share the stage with him on several occasions, and to watch him play, he has such a light, delicate touch, and it just reminds me of French music, the French style, everything being based on elegance and style and culture. It's the same way he plays the marimba and the same way he writes. So that's some of the aspects that we might discuss here even further today in this duet, of how to make this piece even more elegant in terms of musical structure and expression. Yeah. Let's play a little bit. You want to play the beginning?
Yep.
Whoa. Let's start one more time. Who's the leader? Who's doing the cue? Okay, so make it clear and evident. So the first note, right together. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's stop here. I know our time is really limited, and the goal here today is not necessarily to perform the piece. You know, it's just to perform moments of it, to talk about how we might make it stronger. Now, as I listen to this, and I'm recalling your video as well, because this opening section, I'm going to guess that Eric put on the music that you're both like piano or mezzo piano in the opening. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the score close by just to double check? Yeah. So both players are the same dynamic, right?
And it's not exactly written in, but there are minimal dynamics written in.
Yes. Okay, so my suggestion to you, from based upon what I told you earlier, is to go with a lighter touch, and this should start soft. Okay, I don't if he doesn't have a dynamic in the beginning, then you know sometimes composers don't put all the details you'd love for them to be in the music. But this piece should start soft and gradually grow. Now notice that so we've got Jarrett and Peter. Peter's having to play like a double lateral type passage. Can you play that passage that you're starting for me in the opening, playing in the opening? Good. So that overlapping kind of lateral motion, it's easy for the wrist to turn a little too quick or a little too slower, and that will affect the timing. Okay, and then with Jarrett, his pattern is a lot different. Okay, can play your pattern just in the first couple of bars. Yeah. Yeah, but it's simple. It's simple. It's more similar, rather. I'm not simple. It's more similar. Yeah. But the idea here is that we have to get that rotation to line up, because when you listen to it as a recording and or in this case a live performance, is that I don't feel like the rhythm is actually, it's like a picture that's not completely in focus. It's a little bit out of focus, and we want to get it right together in terms of the articulation. Some of this, of course, is going to be remedied with individual practice. Using a metronome, using a recorder, playing, that's your own issue. I think, Peter, you have a tendency to crush the left hand portion of that pattern just a little bit. So that's a little bit involved. But listen, both of you will have tendencies to push or pull in different sections. And that's not a crime. It's the issue here is that you need to speak to each other and talk and communicate about when we're going to move and how we're going to play this together and who's the leader. Okay, so and I know you're starting the piece, Peter, but who do you feel of you two has the lead voice in the opening, or is there one? Maybe they're equal.
I think it's pretty meshed. I don't know if there's.
Yeah, I think so too. In the beginning, I think it's pretty similar in terms of style and approach and texture. So, but now you as performers, you still have to dictate, who am I going to listen for? Okay, where is the time going to come from? Okay, because we can't just put you both in a race and tell you to run and assume you're both going to get across the finish line at exactly the same time, right? We have to be in tandem. We have to know when to step, when to move. So in this case, it might be that we try this. Peter may be wrong, but maybe if you could listen to Jarrett in terms of rhythmic construction, trying to open up your left hand a little bit more, listening to Jarrett, and then when it flips around, when you take the solo, Jarrett's going to listen to you. You know what I'm saying in terms of timing. But let's try that beginning and try that and see if that works. Okay, good. Did it feel different, the same, or better?
I've been watching. Jarrett has the rhythm I play in his right hand, so that's like really easy to watch for me during that first section at least. So that's been really helpful to like lock in.
It felt a little tighter that time, over the Zoom. Yeah, of course, what I'm hearing may not be exactly what you guys are hearing, of course, in the room. But that's the kind of decisions that we're going to have to make, because when we play chamber music, whether there's 2 players, 4, 6 players, or whatever, we have to know our role. We have to know, who am I supporting? How am I supposed to support them? Where's the direction of the phrase? How am I going to be able to make this a successful collaboration? because it's not about Peter and it's not about Jarrett. It's about what you do as a unit together. Okay, so we have to think in terms of the unit in this case. So we have to, a lot of times we'll get two players together, for example, and both players just play out. So 50, 50, 50, that rarely is going to be the solution. I can tell you that. Almost always, at least throughout this music, there's going to be somebody who's the accompaniment and somebody who's the lead voice. And then it might come together for a period of time and then it will flip-flop or go back and forth. There will be this some kind of dialogue. So that dialogue and that relationship is what audience members love. That's what they want to hear. They want to feel that relationship. Okay, so if you compete with each other, for example, if the accompaniment plays too loud and competes with the melody, now the audience is confused, like, okay, where do I listen? Where is the focal point of the composition? Okay, so the accompaniment has to get out of the way and let the lead voice do what it's going to do in whatever section it is. Okay, this opening, I agree with you, this opening is obviously more in tandem and unison textural feeling. So then you have to make decisions about that. But the key to success is not just you putting the mallets on the bars in the right time, but the key to success is studying the score and you talking to each other. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Now you may not always agree, and that's why you speak. Because many times with music, there's more than one way to interpret that music. But as a unit, you can't expect that, oh, I learned my notes, then it's going to be fine. That's not how it's going to work as a unit. Okay, you have to collaborate. Now, for me, I'm an old school kind of guy. I'm going to have a red pencil and on my score, and I'm going to be marking it up. So when you guys rehearse, for example, I would record the rehearsal. Then you guys sit down together with the score and this red pencil and start marking, okay, here's our impact point. This is where the phrase is leading to. And you would agree, okay, I agree to that. Now here, Jarrett takes the solo, Peter is playing the accompaniment, whatever. So we're clear on what's happening and what is the direction. Now, what does that mean? The direction means how is the listener feeling like the music is growing or is the music pulling away and relaxing? That doesn't mean in time. It could mean that the tempo is being affected, but it also just means the lift and the rise and fall of the musical intensity. So you just have to decide what that is. And as you mentioned, there's not many dynamics marked on the score. Okay, well then you have to decide. You may have to input those. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. You have a really fine teacher. I don't know if you realize that, but you have a really great teacher there. So your decisions are going to help her to give you better input because then she sees what you're thinking. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, we've decided that this is going to be this, blah, blah, blah. And she could concur with you, or she could say, yes, but did you consider this, whatever. And so there could be a reason why your decision might go off track a little bit. And that's why you have a teacher. That's why we have teachers, to help us guide that, and other ears to help us listen to our music. The good news is that you're doing really great work. Goodness. So can we jump here in the time we have to one of the bigger sections, maybe toward the middle to the end? Can you guys choose where you would play? A bigger, more fuller section. Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, the coda maybe.
We were thinking coda. Would that be good?
Sure. I don't have the score here, so you're going to have to go with it. Yeah.
All right.
Right on. Good job. Great energy. Good drive. Now I want to speak about something I wrote in the your notes too, because I deal with a lot of I'm very fortunate to be dealing with a lot of really talented students and musicians in general, and I have never been able to have a great balance between mallets that are built from two different companies and two different styles. It's never excuse me, I've just never been able to make that work. Okay, why? It's not just the wrap. It's not just because ones are orange or ones are tan. It's that the core of the mallets are different. And for example, Peter's mallet seemed like they're more of an acrylic core, and the acrylic core is going to definitely trigger the higher harmonic partials of the bar. And therefore, in yours, Jared, I'm not certain if they might have a rubber core, but I'm not 100% certain. But what's the brand of those ones?
These are Big Firth band sizes.
Fan size. I think they're acrylic as well. So the idea here is that just like if you say, oh, it's a rubber core, you might think, well, they're all the same. No, there's like thousands and thousands of different kinds of textures of rubber and densities and things. So I would tell you to strive to be in the same brand, the same style. It doesn't mean you have to have the same exact mallet, because somebody may be playing lower more often, while someone else is in the higher register. So you could have the same mallet of the Van Sice, for example, but yet Peter needs to have one level more articulate than yours, Jared. Maybe. I'm just a hypothetical. So that would be a better. Could we play that section? Now you switched mallets to what he has. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's Dr. Orange has a rack behind me, and I can try to switch. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's put those down and try these. And they're about this. Are they the exact same that Jared has, or different?
They're the same graduation, yeah.
Same. Okay. Let's try it. Right on. Now I can tell you what I heard, and again, this is over Zoom, so I feel a more homogeneous ensemble, where before I heard really two separate voices, and I think we want to hear this ensemble presentation. And I know, listen, there's very few solutions that will always be solved with mallets, but articulation can really make a big difference by mallet choices, obviously. And I'm saying this because you can have one brand of mallets and play with many different styles. You could be articulate, you could be legato, even with the same set of mallets. So that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the inherent characteristic of two sets of mallets and how that articulation is heard by the audience. In this case, when you had two different sets, it really divides the audience between the two. And now it seems like it's more inclusive. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions that either what things I wrote or things that we've talked about today?
I think you've given us a lot of nice advice. Thank you.
Well, no, my pleasure. And I know Jared is a senior. Peter, what level are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Well, wow, what a great opportunity for you both to play such a cool piece and to do so well with it. Goodness gracious. So congratulations to you both, and Dr. Arns, of course. So keep it up. I mean, keep playing. Goodness. And I know this is a crazy year, but you're bringing a little sunshine to a year of craziness here. And music is a really great way to escape and to invest in yourself during a time of obviously when you can't be normal in terms of school. Are you going to school face to face or still remote, or what? How's that working?
We're hybrid right now, but we're gonna go back to full 5 days of school.
Sure. Hopefully soon. I understand. Yeah. So kudos to you both. I really enjoyed listening both to you play and getting a chance to meet you here. And I hope to see you play face to face here at someday soon in the future. Okay. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you both, and congratulations on your performances and your results.